What's up guys, my name is Brock, you're watching The Modest Man, and today we're talking about 9 expensive products that I think are worth the money. Sure, some stuff is just overpriced, but oftentimes you get what you pay for, and I think it's important to make the distinction between expensive and overpriced. You know, if you go to a fancy restaurant, you get an amazing dinner, awesome atmosphere and great service, and you pay 50 or 100 bucks a head for that dinner, that's expensive, but it's not necessarily overpriced. Now, if you went to McDonald's and they tried to charge you 50 bucks for a Big Mac, that would be overpriced. It would be an unfair price and it wouldn't be worth your money. But some expensive stuff is worth the money, and this is true across all categories from fashion to tech to grooming supplies. Now, I'm not exactly a big spender, but I do try to buy the best quality that I can afford at any given time. Over the years, like you, I'm sure, I've experienced my fair share of buyer's remorse, but I do own some things that I have no regrets buying and that I think are worth every penny. So that's what this video is all about, but real quick, I want to thank today's sponsor. It's the perfect sponsor for this video, and it's a service called ShopTagger. Let me show you how it works. So I don't know about you, but I've definitely gone to the mall before without a plan and just wandered around, ended up buying something pretty much just because it was on sale, and then letting it collect dust in my closet for the next 3 or 4 years before finally getting rid of it. It's not the smartest way to shop, and there is a better way, especially now with the internet and technology. And today's sponsor, ShopTagger, I think presents a much smarter and more organized way to shop. So, for example, and we're looking at my ShopTagger right now, my kind of list, and I'll link to this down below so you can check out my list. But for example, about a year ago, I needed a new pair of swim trunks. I had this cheap pair from H&M that was literally falling apart, and I just wanted to get a good pair of trunks that would last for a long time. And so I did a bunch of research and I found this pair from Orlebar Brown. They were way more expensive than any swim trunks I've ever bought, but I pulled the trigger and I love them. I have no regrets. I'll actually talk about them later in this video, but they were pretty expensive. So what I would have done if I knew about ShopTagger back then is I would have installed their free browser extension, gone to the product page, either on Mr. Porter or Nordstrom or any other retailer, and I would have saved it to my list in the color and the size that I wanted, and clicked notify when the price changes. So they'll basically send you a notification when these go on sale, which everything always goes on sale these days. So if you're patient, you can save some money. And then I'll add it to my clothing and style list and click save. And then when I go back here, instantly, it's here in the list. So they'll notify me when it goes on sale, or if it was out of stock in my size, I'll get a notification when it's back in stock. So just a very cool way to shop and to kind of organize the things that you want, and it's free. And the other cool thing about ShopTagger is when you go to buy it, when you're on the checkout page, it'll automatically look for any coupons, any active promo codes. So you don't have to go hunting on those sketchy coupon sites to find promo codes that are still working. ShopTagger will do that for you. So highly recommended. I'm using it myself, and I will link to my list and the tool down below so you can check it out. And yeah, big thanks again to ShopTagger for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video. All right, so let's talk about the products. Number 1, Apple AirPods. Now, I've heard some people say that AirPods are overpriced and that you can get better sound quality from other brands, but that's weird because everybody knows that Apple makes the highest quality products and best audio quality in the world, and if it doesn't have the Apple logo on it, I'm really not interested. So now that we've cleared the room of all the Apple haters, here's what I really think about these. So of course there are better headphones in terms of audio quality. I have some over-the-ear headphones from Sennheiser that I really like, but the Apple AirPods can't be beat for portable, truly wireless earbuds. You know, you don't buy these for the sound quality, you buy them for everything else. I'm talking about world-class product design, truly wireless construction, sweat resistance, crazy battery life, and extreme portability. These things just work. You know, taking calls, pairing with different devices, switching between a call and listening to a podcast, everything just works so effortlessly. They also stay in my ears during intense workouts, and they don't get destroyed by sweat. Looking at you, beats. The charging case is so small, and the magnets work really well, and it just fits into your pocket. It's truly portable, you know, and there's no wire behind your head, so you can actually use them for workouts. No, they're not the cheapest earbuds in the world, but in my opinion, they're some of the best and they're worth every penny. Number 2, a vintage Rolex. Just to get one thing out of the way, I understand that buying a luxury watch, a Rolex or any other expensive watch, is totally unnecessary, completely something that most people will never and probably shouldn't ever buy. It's a total luxury. That said, if you're gonna buy one, you can't go wrong with Rolex. It really is one of the only watch brands that holds its value and even increases in value over time. You know, think about it. What other products can you buy and 12 months later or 60 months later, they'll be worth the same price or maybe even more? Most products lose a lot of their resale value the minute you open the box. But if you get a good deal on a vintage Rolex like this Datejust 16030 that I got from Theo and Harris a while back, it's gonna hold its value and potentially even increase in value if you ever want to trade or upgrade. This isn't true for the vast majority of watch brands. Even other luxury brands will decrease in value over time, but Rolex is unique that way. So as long as you don't overpay, you can be pretty sure that a vintage Rolex is a safe investment in that you'll be able to resell it and get your money back if you ever want to part with it. Number 3, high quality leather sneakers. Up to a certain price point, you kind of get what you pay for when it comes to leather sneakers. You know, it is impossible to buy a quality pair of leather sneakers for under 50 bucks because just the raw materials are gonna cost more than that, never mind the manufacturing and the shipping. I found that $100 is sort of the minimum to get into a decent leather sneaker, and $200 to $300 is the sweet spot. You know, anything above that, like in the $400 and $500 and $600 range, you're probably paying a lot for the brand name like Gucci or Common Projects. Now, I've tried a lot of different minimal leather sneakers, and my favorite, my best value for the money, in my opinion, is Koio. They're gonna run you $248 full retail, but they're just as comfy and they feel just as premium as Common Projects, and this pair has held up really, really nicely. I've worn them a lot over the past couple years, and all I've ever done is clean the laces and wipe them down with baby wipes, and they look great. You know, in my opinion, it's worth saving up and buying a pair of these instead of like a pair of Adidas Stan Smiths. Now, if you can't afford Koio or you don't want to, Beckett Simonin makes a nice pair. It's called the Reed, and those go for $149. Sometimes they're on sale for even less. Those are also a great value for leather sneakers. I'll link to both options down below in the description. A high quality desk chair. I realize now that I can't see it because I'm standing up, but this chair from Secret Labs is a great desk chair. I've been using it for a little over a year now, and it's an upgrade for me, and in my opinion, totally worth the money. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to desk chairs or gaming chairs. I'm not really a gamer. Before this chair from Secret Labs, I was using a cheap chair from Office Depot, and so this feels like a huge upgrade. I have a standing desk and I stand for most of the day anyway, so I didn't think a chair was that important, but once I got a nice one, I realized that my back and my legs and everything felt so much better, and I felt more comfortable during the times that I was sitting down. One of the big differences between the cheap desk chairs and the more expensive ones is the adjustability. You know, with a nice office desk chair, you can adjust everything, even like the angles of the armrests and the height of the armrests. The tilt, it has tilt lock, and it's just very, very adjustable. The nicer companies like Secret Labs also sell different size chairs. So I got the Omega, that's kind of like their medium-sized chair that was recommended for my height. So it fits perfectly. You know, you can get a $50 chair from Office Depot versus this $359 one from Secret Labs, but I think especially if you sit for a lot of the day, I think it's worth investing. You know, we're talking about your health and your comfort here, so, you know, I think it's worth saving for and getting a nice desk chair. That said, I do stand for probably 70% of the day, and I also think a good standing desk is totally worth the money. Number 5, a nice camera. So if you use a camera for work, you know, if you're a professional, like if you're a YouTuber, it makes sense investing in high quality gear. So I'm using the Panasonic GH5 with a couple of native lenses. That's what I'm filming on right now. Before it, I had a Canon T6i from the Rebel series, and that was a very entry-level DSLR camera, and this is a huge upgrade. And since I'm doing this full time, for me, it made sense to kind of invest in a better camera, a better piece of gear. It felt like going from like a Honda Civic to like a Beamer 3 Series. Now, if you're just getting started, or if you don't know you're gonna stick with it, or if it's just a hobby, you really don't have to have like the nicest camera in the world. You can start with something more affordable, and then if you stick with it, or if you start making money from your hobby, then you can invest in something better. But once you start relying on your gear to make a living, like I do, you have to invest in quality. You shouldn't skimp on something cheap, because when you use something nicer, not only is it more fulfilling to use, but the end product is better. And you might notice that my videos look and sound a lot better than they did 2 years ago. Number 6, great underwear. So confession, the underwear that I'm wearing right now costs $30 a pair, which by most guys' standards is pretty expensive. Honestly, even for me, even just a few years ago, I would never have thought about spending that much on underwear. I would always just go to the department stores and find those Hanes multi-packs that cost like 10 bucks for like 5 pairs of underwear, and I was perfectly content. But I didn't know there was something better out there. Once I discovered a high quality boxer brief, I couldn't go back. So my current favorite pair of underwear is from Ribbedtee. It's the G3 Boxer Brief. This is one of the only pairs of underwear, one of the only boxer briefs that I can wear in different types of occasions. So I can wear it to work, I can wear it for a long day of travel, and I can wear it to the gym. It doesn't ride up. It's super comfortable, it kind of just disappears, and they're really durable, so they last a long time. And since they don't need to be replaced as often, it's a win-win. If you look at cost per wear, these are probably cheaper than a lot of cheaper brands. Okay, number 7, a good electric toothbrush. Now, if you talk to any dentist, or if you do a bit of research, it's pretty much decided at this point that electric toothbrushes are better than manual toothbrushes. They do a better job at removing plaque and preventing gum disease like gingivitis. Now, this is partially due to the fact that they have timers built in, and so if you use an electric toothbrush, you tend to brush for longer than if you're doing it manually. But no matter how they do it, they're better for you, and that's a proven fact at this point. So it makes sense to upgrade it to an electric toothbrush. There are plenty of entry-level electric toothbrushes. I used to use an Oral-B. It was like 30 bucks from Amazon. I'll link to that too. And that was fine. But I did upgrade to this Brio Smart Clean. The biggest difference isn't how it brushes your teeth. To me, it's like the build quality. The actual finish of it just feels so much more premium, and it stays clean. So I noticed with the Oral-B, it would just get kind of like gunky and gross every few weeks. I had to clean it, and there was like calcium buildup and stuff like that. This one, it looks almost like it did when I took it out of the box, and I really don't have to clean it. So either way, I recommend going to an electric toothbrush if you're still using an old manual toothbrush, and if you have the money, upgrade to something like the Brio Smart Clean. And no, this isn't sponsored. I haven't been paid anything by Brio, but I do have some links to them that go to Amazon, and these are affiliate links, so if you want to support the channel, you can click on those down in the description. Okay, number 8, high quality shampoo and conditioner. Now, I don't think everyone has to spend more money on upgrading their shampoo and conditioner. If you have like shorter hair and you have a pretty healthy head of hair and a healthy scalp, just keep doing what you're doing. But if you have a dry scalp, or you're trying to grow your hair out, or if you have thinning hair, I think it really makes sense to spend a little more money on better hair care products. Back in the day, I used to use whatever was on sale at the grocery store, just like Head and Shoulders or whatever else, the stuff that really just strips your hair and just totally dries it out. And then I started using better shampoo, and I've tried other stuff from brands like Kiehl's, but currently I'm using this Tree Ranger shampoo and conditioner from Beardbrand, and it is the best shampoo and conditioner that I've tried in a long time, especially as I'm growing my hair out. I really like the Tree Ranger scent. It's my favorite Beardbrand scent. It's kind of subtle, but sort of like, I don't know, outdoorsy and masculine. I really like it. And then these products, they don't strip your hair of oil. Like yes, they clean your hair and they clean your scalp, but they don't leave you feeling like super dried out. So they just do a really good job. Yes, they're more expensive than your $4 family-sized bottle of shampoo conditioner combo at the drugstore, but you know, in my opinion, especially if you have longer hair, they're worth the money. Okay, and number 9, last but not least, great swim trunks. I don't know about you, but I'd rather just have one really good pair of swim trunks than upgrade to some new cheap pair every season. These Orlebar Brown trunks are not cheap. In fact, they cost more than probably most jeans and jackets in my wardrobe, but they're worth it. I can feel the quality every time I put these on, and every time I wear them, I'm glad that I bought them. You know, they're super comfortable, they fit great, they dry really quickly, and they have really functional details like side adjusters instead of a regular drawstring. You can just use these guys, kind of like on dress pants. And then they have this zip back pocket, which is great to store stuff and keep it safe when you're in the water. They have a locker loop so you can hang it up to dry. They come with this dry bag that you can put them in when they're wet and they dry out. So you can throw them in your suitcase even if they're not dry yet. They're just very thoughtfully designed, and they're better than any other swim trunks I've ever tried on. You know, I can't go back to H&M swim trunks after wearing these ones from Orlebar Brown. When they do eventually wear out, which I think will be many years from now, I'll probably replace them with another pair from the same brand. So, expensive? Yes. Overpriced? Not in my opinion. I think they're worth every penny. Okay, so there you have it. Those are 9 expensive products that, in my opinion, are worth every penny and that are in no way overpriced, but I'd love to hear from you. So let me know down in the comments, what's something that you bought that's expensive, but that you really enjoy and that you think is worth every penny. Links to everything will be down below. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, stay stylish.